Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Peter Dennis, and my guest this time is Susan Swan James. Susan, welcome.
Thank you for having me to speak or to be here to have the Council of Light speak through me.
Yeah, we think the Council of Light is going to speak through you. You and I were talking earlier that you have another group that you channel called Soldier.
They're a little saucy, or saucy may not be the term to talk about a soldier, but basically, yeah, they wouldn't tell me whether they were appearing tonight or not. So
yeah. Well, as you know, in times like this, where you and I are talking, the beings that you might channel are listening in, and maybe the whole universe is. We don't know. But Susan, maybe to kick things off, you could just tell us and the audience a little about yourself, some of your background, what you do for a living, things like that.
Sure. Okay. I'm a transformation coach and a grief recovery specialist. I'm a speaker, and a lot of my career has been in film and television, but right now I'm focusing on coaching. So yeah, I'm also the mom of a premature baby. She's not a baby anymore, but I do work with people, with parents who have had premature babies or special needs children as well.
Mm-hmm. You've been channeling for some time now. How did you get involved with that?
It's been a long journey because for the longest time, I didn't really know that I was channeling. I just thought I was, I'd hear a voice and I would think, who said that? And I was wondering if it was me or, was that a guardian angel or, whoever. And the truth is that we always have a variety of beings around us supporting us. So, but really the time that it became a consistent thing is after my parents passed away. Then my father came in a group called Soldier, and they really helped me facilitate channeling on a regular basis to assist others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the Council of Light came in.
Now, as a coach and counselor, how does channeling play into what you do as a coach?
Well, I always tune in before I speak whether I'm officially channeling or not for the client. I always open up to receive guidance about what's in the best interest for the client. So just, nothing personal. Like I don't want to to alarm anyone that they think that I'm being nosy, for instance. But what it is you tune in to ask for guidance for the greatest good for that client, and then your higher self will never, will only guide to what's in your best interest. And so that's the guidance that I receive between my higher self and the beings that I'm channeling, and the higher self and the supportive beings around the client. But if I'm channeling, then I'm directly channeling for them for a specific question. And it can also be a combination of coaching and channeling as well. So it's customized for what the client needs.
Mm-hmm. I suppose some clients are maybe a little spooked or disconcerted if they knew you were channeling a being from off the planet.
Right.
Others are probably quite comfortable with that. So
that's exactly it. I have a wide diversity of clients, and everyone has a different viewpoint of where they stand. And so really what I do is I work with that, whatever it is that they are most comfortable with. That's how I work around that. I mean, I'm not going to do something that is completely against somebody's belief system or level of comfort. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Now, how has channeling benefited you? Channelers tell me that they seem more aware of things. Actually, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You tell me, what's it done for you?
Well, awareness is truly what does happen. The more you practice, it's like a muscle. It's just like anything. If you were, training to run the 500-meter dash, you would train and you get better, and then your instincts about when to move in a certain way are just automatic. And so that's the same thing. Information comes in a much more flowing and elegant way, and sometimes in ways like new ways pop up. Like, it's just like, well, with any, I'm not going to say that channeling is like therapy or medical, because I'm not trained as a as a doctor, and I'm not a therapist, but my own physician says that medicine is a science as well as, or an art as well as a science. She says, I have all kinds of scientific knowledge, but she goes, there just is no accounting for the will to live, and for, she goes, something new happens all the time with my patients. So I would say the same thing. As my awareness broadens, new ways of perceiving information come to me. And yeah.
Can you point to anything physical in your own experience? Are you healthier, or any differences in ways like that?
Less anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was like super anxious, but we all have anxieties. Anxiety and worry. I would say that I used to worry incessantly about things, and I don't do that as much. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like, it's a learning curve. I don't worry about death anymore. I'm not afraid of it. I feel more comfortable as a human being in my own skin. So those are like emotional and psychological benefits. I am healthier. I don't worry as much about getting ill, and I actually can move in a way that helps. I've always been interested in like naturopathic or holistic remedies, but now sometimes I don't, I can channel the direction of how the healing of my body without taking anything for it. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to the doctor if there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just saying that I worry less and don't jump in the car to run to the doctor as I might have before. So.
Yes, I've heard that as a channeler, you kind of get an upgrade in your vibration or your consciousness. And some of those benefits you cite are kind of a byproduct of that. As your consciousness expands, some of these things begin to kick in. I guess if you expand it high enough and enter the fourth dimension of consciousness, then the clairs will kick in, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, that kind of thing. So I guess on our trip to the higher dimensions, we expand our abilities and such. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
You channel two groups, as far as I know. Maybe you channel more. Can you tell us a little about them?
Sure. And I don't think about them so much when I'm not channeling. So, but basically, Soldier is a group of military or frontline workers. It started out being that I was aware that it was that of my father, really, after he had passed, and I would get guidance from him. But then I became aware that uncles and grandfathers and family friends who were in the military who had passed were in this group. And then I became aware that Joan of Arc was in this group. So it's really, I'm not certain how big the group is, but their main focus is helping humanity with PTSD, coping with or managing and healing from trauma, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of their general, they are primarily guided towards that main focus so far. The Council of Light is a much higher, so the Soldier is fifth dimension. So they're closer to our human experience. And so they feel and sound much more human, even though they've transitioned. once we transition, as I understand it, once we transition, then we don't worry about the things that we worried about when we walk this earth in the same way. You know, we aren't concerned with those things in the same way. We have a broader viewpoint of these things. However, in order for you to recognize your loved one after they transition, they do speak to you or look or show up looking and sounding like they used to, so that you know who it is that you're dealing with. So they're closer in to feeling like a human, whereas the 14th dimension is much more, I don't even want to say cerebral because they're not human, but they have a much broader picture and less concern about how we function in our human bodies than Soldier does. So they are a group of, the last count I had was 29 members. And, you know, so far, I haven't been gifted with understanding like a specific purpose. They just generally are focused on helping humanity, but not through a specific cause or idea like Soldier is. So very different.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending who comes through, we can explore that a little further, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go into that state in which you can bring them through?
Well, yeah, let's do that. I'll close my eyes for a minute, and then when I open, I'll be ready.
Yeah. Okay.
We are here. We are the Council of Light.
Yes. Well, welcome and thank you very much for being here. You were undoubtedly listening in a little before we, I guess, went live and started this interview. But I was wondering if you would expand on Susan's explanation of who you are and just explain for our audience a little about your purpose and maybe put it in terms that we humans can grasp, if you would, please.
We want you to understand that our purposes may not be translatable or understandable in the way humans understand. You tend on this planet to want things with a goal, a journey, a focus, and of course, the whole expansion of the universe is an ongoing, we don't even want to say event, but it's an ongoing process. And so, unlike on Earth, where you focus on a beginning, middle, and end, there is no end. And so we focus on assisting humans to expand. We focus on helping humans to ascend, which they do automatically. Everyone is in a different place in that journey. It happens automatically without you trying. When you feel resistance or upset over an issue, you are generally, to just speak in broad terms, in resistance, but it doesn't mean that you're not on your path to ascension. And so as humanity opens up and broadens to this experience of expansion, more and more become aware, and it assists each one. It becomes like a domino effect. And then humanity is all moving upwards. And we say upwards because that's what you understand is up and down. But if you can think of like a piano scale, when you go up the piano scale, you don't physically go up. You were just moving to the right-hand side. And then if you're moving to the left, you were moving down the scale. So you are not going anywhere. You aren't leaving the planet. You will be right here, but you will be having a different experience than what you had before when you operated mostly from 3D. Everyone right now on the planet is operating from more than 3D. They're not aware of it. And a good number of folk operating mostly in 3D and a little bit of 4D. And more humans are adding extra functioning more in a broad, functioning more and almost like a skill set, juggling multiple dimensions at once. This will become more and more your experience as you go through your life, as humanity moves through the whole process. And it will become that you will be in 5D most of the time.
Now, can you give us a couple of examples illustrating how you help us to evolve this way?
There you go, Peter, being a goal-oriented, functioning human.
I'm just trying to fit you into my head here somehow.
We're just teasing you. Okay, so, well, here we are right now, broadcasting through Susan. She has relaxed enough to allow us to speak through her so that we can communicate with you and others can watch, and either they're watching now or they can watch the replay. That is helping because whoever is here is meant to be here. Yes. And whoever is here is getting the information that they need. And then it will broaden their expansion, their knowledge. Even if it's not something that we say, it might add another idea about how they can, in their own experience, move through in an expansive way that others will see. They will be like a lighthouse, and others will see how they're functioning and come along with them. So the more people who are informed, and it's not an information thing, so inform isn't quite the thing, but the more people that metabolize the experience of broadening and expanding, the more people will come along with them. So just speaking here with Susan, we know who's going to be listening here. We know who's going to be listening afterwards. And then and we don't want to say that you're on the front lines, but really, this is the group of people who are informed or a little bit ahead, the forward scouts. Now we're sounding like soldier, yeah. But these are the forward groups of people that will then bring along others along on the path. It's not a race, and everyone's in their place and everyone's in the right place. So that is something actually we want to address, is that within the spiritual community, we want you to, of course, you're proud of what you do and excited and fulfilled by the work that you do as a spiritual being and knowing what you know. We want to remind you that you are not better than others who are not in this position. And we want to remind you that it's not a race, as we said, and that it's important to function from the understanding that everyone on this planet is where they are and where they need to be, even if they are riding out in the street in front of your house. Now, that can be a little scary as a human if you're inside the house, but at the same time, we want you to say that the more you can be at peace and not coming from a place of judgment of this is the right thing to do and this is the wrong thing to do. This is the right supplement to take and this is the wrong supplement to take. I know what treatment should be taken, and to be broadcasting, it is actually harmful to be broadcasting and sending off emails about conspiracy theories, vaccines, things that are not going to be healthy, how vaccines are going to change DNA, all of these things that are ongoing. And you as a spiritual being think, I've received this information. This is valid. I need to tell everyone. But what we want you to understand is that you are tapping into a consciousness about a certain belief, about a certain thing. And it may be that for some groups, they will have their DNA altered by the vaccine, but the rest of the planet won't. Those who hold the consciousness of it happening, if they get vaccinated, they will have their DNA changed, because that is a consciousness that has been created by you, gentle humans. So the fear and the taking action to try and get everybody, bring everybody on board and get them going so that nobody gets left behind is false. It's important to stop doing that. It's important to stop trying to save everybody and bring them along. Everybody is okay. So please stop trying to tell people what to do for their own good. Be at peace with them choosing what they want. If they ask for assistance in what you know, then please go ahead and tell them. But all this trying to tell everybody and get them over to your side so that they're saved, well, it's almost like religion, isn't it? So it is harmful to be doing that at this time. And we are using that word on purpose. We're all on our path and no one's going to be harmed. But at the same time, it is not helping moving forward in ascension. Be at peace. Be the one, the middle of the road being, having your own firm convictions, your own boundaries, your own ideas, and standing in peace and compassion of those others who are not having the same ideas of you. And we want to clarify, not standing in compassion that, oh, I have the right idea and I'm open to everyone doing what they want, but I'm right. That is not the consciousness that is helpful. We want to really be here today to give this strong idea and this strong message. It is important for the most smooth running ascension and moving forward and expansion to be the change before you expect to see the change.
Mhm.
You have to master this. That is your work, not telling others what they should do or be or have, or what vitamin they should take, or whether they should take a vaccine, or whether they should put a mask on. This is not the work you are here to do. You are here to master yours own vibration, your own choices. And in doing that, regardless of your loved ones and whether they choose the same thing or the polar opposite, everyone is safe. Everyone is peacefully going along. And by you shining that light yourself as this is what I believe, and I have compassion and love for you, and whatever you choose is fine. And even acknowledging, I find it difficult standing when you have a total opposite belief than me, but I stand with you and for you. And being clear that it makes you uncomfortable if it does, but still standing for that person's belief, even if it's a belief that they are doing against the law, even if, because those laws are yours and they're man-made, but everyone here is functioning from their purpose and from their choices. And it is in the choices that we expand. We are not advocating doing harmful things to other people. At the same time, you haven't chosen that journey, and that is somebody else's journey. We are also not saying take away all your laws, but we are saying to stand not in judgment of others because of their beliefs and their actions. That is not your job.
Mhm.
Jesus even said that.
Yes, others have said, take care of yourself.
Yes. And in taking care of yourself, you are taking care of humanity, and you are helping humanity move forward as quickly as possible. Because actually, when you are focusing on all the bad things other people are doing, you are distracting yourself from taking ownership of your own vibration. And that's the only thing you should be doing, is taking ownership of that vibration of yours, and expanding and being at peace. And by practicing that, when something that you judge as horrific happens, you are better equipped to manage it and to move through it.
It's interesting. As a hypnotist, about 80% of my clients are women, and about 80% of them are taking care of everybody else except themselves. And they, in desperation or whatever, end up seeing me. Yeah, I guess, yeah, take care of yourself and be healthy. Yeah, that's a tricky thing, though. A channeler is getting the word out, but the word isn't always accepted. It isn't always interpreted correctly. But I guess you just put it out and let the chips fall where they may.
We think so. That's the best way to function. It, well, in your human experience, you do then end up with navigating through other people's judgment. But really, once you manage your own vibration and manage your own mindset and how you are being in the world, other people's judgment of you, you don't even notice. Try it. The more aligned you become, the less you will notice other people's judgment. And when you do notice it, it'll be almost like an anecdote. Oh, look, isn't that cute? They're being judgmental of me. Okay, well, I guess they're still at where they're at. Lovely.
Well, tell me this, if you would, please. If I judge somebody else, I am hurting myself in some sense. I'm maybe taking on the vibration of that which I'm judging. I don't know. Can you elaborate on that and just tell me the foibles of judging other people?
Sure. Well, you are really at the core correct. You're harming yourself, but what is best is if you note that when you notice that you are being judgmental, it's a red flag for you to look at what within you is not yet aligned. There's no human on the planet who is able to do this 100% of the time. Not even the Dalai Lama, not the Pope, none of these spiritual people that you think of as maybe having got it all. They haven't figured it all out. They are quite a bit more practiced than many others on the planet, yet they still have judgment that pops up. And so it's something that it's part of being human. At the same time, you will move forward much quicker the more you can be practiced in not doing that or adjusting yourself when you notice that you are doing that. The emotions are red flags for you to see where you are on a topic at this moment. May not be in that, because your emotions are like a thermometer. They show you how hot or cold you are on a matter. And so it really is a way for you to assess, what do I need to do next? So judgment is a really great, when that comes up and you notice it. Many humans don't even notice when they're being judgmental. They just think that they're right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I catch myself doing it. No question.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you give us a bit of a status report? You talked about Ascension, and I gather that some people have ascended, some are in that process, some are starting to wake up to it. But overall, how's humanity doing in this regard? Now, I don't know what you compare that to or how you would even judge it, but yeah, I guess we could be moving along rather well, or we could be tripping up and sabotaging ourselves. Generally, how are we doing?
Despite your Hollywood movies that are so negative, we want to encourage you that humanity is doing very well. there is no going back to something worse than where you are. The earth and all the beings on it are provided for. Now, people have different causes, saving different animals, saving the oceans. All of this is good work and puts you into, it helps you to focus. And how you get things done is by focus. If you're focusing on the problem, you will enhance the problem. So if you're focusing on telling everyone how bad something is, like the vaccine or anything, someone's behavior, what you will see in that person or in the news or in your experience is more of what you don't want. Focus on, for instance, let's say saving the whales, isn't it? It just comes to the forefront. So focusing on the whales, for instance, and focusing on their well-being and what others around the world are doing for their well-being would be a great way to focus on moving forward with that issue. And the more you look for about the well-being of the whales, the more well-being you will find. So it's important for moving forward. With regards to Ascension, you are all doing very well. You worry that you're not. You worry you'll be left behind. No one is being left behind. And the earth is continuing to be, there is damage to the earth, but the earth is recovering. And there is actually grace. If you would imagine a puppet show and all of you humans being the puppets in the puppet show, and you imagine a child's puppet theater, and all the actions and behaviors going on, all the good things happening, all the riots, all the pain, all the joy, all of this is happening in the puppet theater. And the puppet theater starts to disintegrate, becomes less beautiful than what it was, and it needs to be revitalized. What's happening is the puppets are starting to do some fixing, and they feel like they're behind and that everything's going to suddenly go terribly wrong with the earth. This is not going to be allowed to happen. And what's going to happen, if you can imagine, hands picking up the child's puppet theater and moving it to safety. It's an act of grace that will occur. At the same moment, it's important as humans to continue, and I don't want to use the word fight, I want to use the word, we want to use the word, to move forward towards well-being. And the more well-being that you look for, the more you will find. It is law that what you seek, you find. It is law that what you focus on, you attract. So focus on the positive energies within anything that you wish to enhance. As a human, you can focus on your own well-being and improve and can change your own well-being. And while you cannot change another human being's will, for instance, save somebody from dying from a disease, you can focus positive energy on that person and they will benefit from it. The question is their free will, whether their higher self, is helping them make a choice, whether they're choosing not to remain on the planet. That you cannot change for someone, but you can influence. It is really important where you place your focus to positively influence others, and you can make a difference. When your focus is pure, you will get better results. If you have an underlying fear that they're going to die or get into trouble, it's not as helpful. It's not as helpful for their well-being. So this is why it's important to manage your own state first. become a master of that. And then you will be able to be a pure channel to assist others. And then you will be able to positively influence it. They will have the final say about what their destiny is and what their choices are that they're co-creating. You can, however, help them through that process if they wish. So it's important. The whole ascension of the planet is happening and everyone is moving forward. It doesn't look like it down on Earth to you, looking at the riots in the streets and all the other things that you're seeing happening. However, this is like a wound opening up all the pus that's there, and it needs to be lanced to let the pus out so that you can be cleaned. This is a highly beneficial. All the events happening on planet Earth right now are highly beneficial to clean up what is riding underneath in the underbelly of society, in the underbelly of everything that's been going on, and it's rising up to be released and cleansed. This is key, not to get caught in the drama of it, but you have your human reaction, fear or upset at everything, and then focus on changing and rebalancing your energies to be balanced and tuning into the vibration of love, of joy, of peace, of happiness, all these pure vibrations that are directly aligned with source. And you will be able to recalibrate your own vibration. And then as you recalibrate and more like you recalibrate, more and more will change for the better. This is one of the greatest things you can learn, is to recalibrate yourself to advance the ascension of humanity.
You said a couple of things. You mentioned free will. You mentioned we will not be allowed to, I forget the word, but perhaps falter. And there may be some hands coming in to rescue the puppets. It sounds like there is some intervention going on these days. And my recollection was that at one time in our history, free will reigned, and if somebody made a choice, the consequences would play out. But am I right that there is some intervening forces at work here that are helping humanity very positively and physically?
Mother Mary is here.
Welcome, Mother Mary. This is an honor.
Humanity has always been assisted and provided for and protected. Back when I walked the earth, and others like me, it was less advanced in the way that you are now. And what I mean by this, ideas and emotions had not evolved as much as they are now. We have just entered the age of Aquarius and left other ages, not just not just Capricorn from the past 200 and odd years, but many, 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 all of the last thousands of years of harder thinking. And humanity has progressed so slowly back then, and now is moving forward. We have always been provided for, and we have always been protected. It didn't look like it back then, and it was harder then to promote change. It still is hard for people to promote change. However, back then, people were killed much more readily if they disagreed with those who were in charge and what their opinion was. So while human nature is essentially the same as it was back then, man's consciousness has advanced and is accelerating. And now in this new age, man is able to, and when I say man, of course, I mean all of humanity. Man is able to tune in lighter realms, lighter in that more conscious, less unconscious. People are increasingly acting from a more conscious point of view than from an unconscious point of view. And so now action is taking much more readily. Did I answer your question?
I think so. I think everything is accelerating. I guess the difficult thing for a human to understand is that if we're all protected, how come we're dying off and getting injured? From our perspective, there seems to be a lack of protection. But I understand from a higher perspective that, moving in and out of life is part of the natural rhythm of things, and we're all right when that happens. Yeah, it's just fascinating times. Now that you are here with us unexpectedly, this is wonderful. Would you have a general message for humanity that you could deliver at this time?
Well, it's unexpected for you, but I knew I would be here.
Yes, I stand corrected.
Generally speaking, the most important thing is love. The Beatles said it, all you need is love. And they were tuned in, still are tuned in, whether they are still walking the planet or not. Those beings, transitioned or still walking on the planet, are tuned in a way that helped inform humanity at a necessary time. All you need is love. And that many humans feel is too simplistic. If you can just return to seeing everything from love, love and all the other higher pure energies such as joy and peace and happiness. When you can tune in to pure love, you are aligned with your Father or source, whatever your belief system is, watching this, your source, your creator, the being that moves the puppet theater. You are most served by practicing to tune into love. It can be, for humans, challenging when you see something upsetting happen. When you can tune into love and know that everything you experience is helping you to return to love, no matter what it is. It makes your head go a little crazy until you get used to the idea of returning to love when it's something traumatic. Practice on things that are easy to love. Practice on your children, on your pets, on anything that provides unconditional love to you. Practice thinking of that being or creature and let the feeling of that unconditional love of that innocent child, that innocent animal, the pet you love, or the bird that you see flying by your window, focus on that unconditional love they're providing. In every moment, everything around you is providing love. The trees providing for this planet. The trees, the grass, everything is an expression of love. It was created to provide your home for you. And so tuning into the clouds jetting by, the trees above your head, anything that makes you feel at ease and peace with the world, when you can focus on it, practice with that. And then when something that is not so wanted shows up in your experience, you will be able to move towards that feeling of peace and love more easily because you have practiced. Love is everything. It's the main thing we're here for. And also, if there's someone that you love, tell them. If there is someone you have hurt, tell them you're sorry. Our greatest grief and sorrow when you walk this planet is when you have undelivered communications to people, what you wish you said, what you wish you did, who you went to reach out to, what you meant to say. These scenarios make you get caught up in things that aren't important, but they plague you. And really, if you meant to tell someone that you love them and they have passed on, they know it. But yet you sit here walking around thinking that you have done something wrong by not telling them. Make peace with that person, whether they are living or not. And close those gaps with as many of these people that you feel you have wronged. They may not have even known. They may not even know that you feel this way. They may not know that you think you have hurt them. You may have hurt them, and you may not. What's important is clearing this up so that you have the energy to move forward cleanly and purely as a being, an expression of love. You are love. When you can close those gaps and let go of these things that are not important, they are important. It is important to make peace with other people and to create that peace with the other. But when I say that they're not important, is in the big picture, it doesn't reflect. You are still loved, even though you may have hurt somebody. It is a human condition to hurt other people, whether you know it or not. You all do it. And so when you realize that you have, make peace with that person. If they have passed on, make peace with them anyway, through your silent thoughts, through journaling, whatever it is, make peace with that to expand your expression of love. You will free up energy and you will focus on more things that are what's important to you. When you can do that for yourself, you will do more for yourself. And by doing more for yourself, you will shine a light that others will see and they will follow. That is my message.
That's a wonderful message. Thank you very much, Mother Mary. This is maybe a question on behalf of Susan. Do you plan to channel through her a little more?
Oh, I've been waiting to channel through Susan.
Oh, well, I think it's a good bet that she would welcome that very much, and many of us would too. So I'm going to have to draw this to a conclusion here, but it was wonderful having you, and pleasant surprise, and an outstanding message. We'll have to revisit this recording a number of times and let it sink in, but much content here, and thank you very, very much.
Very well.
Good. Now, if the Council of Light is complete at this time, maybe Susan can come back, but if the Council would like to say a parting word or so, please do.
We are almost complete. We want to address health. And so the only thing, in order to be brief, is to remind humans that as they expand and are ascending and playing with, because it's all about play, as they are playing with different dimensions and getting used to holding different vibrational energies within their human body, remember that your body is a human instrument that other beings do not have. This is a tool that you can use to see where you are and to adjust by emotion, but also you can provide health for your body that other, whether it's medical doctors or whatever, they are assisting you. But at the same time, it is important to train your focus to directing your cells towards health. If you don't have a belief that you will be healed, you won't heal. And it doesn't matter what surgeons operate on you or what pills they give you. If you do not believe that you can move towards health, you will not move towards health. So it is really important as you're moving and enhancing all these other things that we spoke of. It is important to direct the energies in your cells to be healthy, to embrace health, to move towards health, and to course correct when you worry that something is wrong. Still go and see your doctor, of course, but it's time for you to step up and be a part of your health plan by directing with certainty and faith that you can be healthy and that you are healthy. And the question is, will you step into being healthy? There is a version of you that already is in perfect health. Step into it. Learn to step into that. It's just a vibrational shift. You're just changing dimensions. You're just changing vibrations. This is the practice to move into.
How do you do that now? Do you visualize it? Or how do you step into that healthy self?
Well, visualization is powerful. It's important to use your body to embody it, to adjust your body's energy into feeling. Is a tool that feels that other beings don't have. We can only look through your own eyes and experience things through you, but you can direct your body and feel what it would be like to be healthy, because there's a version of you down your path that already is healthy. You contact that future self of yours that's healthy, and you imagine yourself together walking down the road together with that future self that is healthy. And as you focus on being with that future self that is healthy or wealthy or wise or whatever goal you have in your human life, you experience, the more senses you can use to experience that future self, you will become that future self. You will step into that by being it and surrounding yourself with it. Does that help?
That's very helpful. Yes, thank you. Yes, we often hear that we're capable of all kinds of things, and it's totally mystifying to many of us. We say, yeah, sure, just flies in the face of all the evidence that we've experienced up till now. But those are positive steps that we can take and manage our way out of this kind of spiral we sometimes find ourselves in. Thank you very much for being here, for your messages. You've given us a great deal to go back and review and think about. So thank you very much.
You are most welcome. We are so appreciative to have been here to speak with all of you. We are complete.
Good. Susan, you just take your time coming back.
Holy cow.
Didn't take much time.
Mother Mary. Holy
cow. That was a first for you. And it seems like she's up for doing it again.
You know, I've been getting messages and signs about Mother Mary. I've been seeing her name everywhere and things there. And I thought, what's that all about?
Yeah.
So, but I did not expect that at all. I thought Soldier would show up. I really
Yeah.
thought Soldier would be here.
Well, I'll take her anytime.
With all the trauma that's going on in the world and the PTSD and everything people are having, I thought for sure I would have placed bets on it being Soldier. Holy cow. I did not expect Mother Mary. In fact, I would have said Mary Magdalene instead of Mother Mary.
Now I understand a number of people have channeled her, and she's an interesting individual.
Well, I plan to channel Mary Magdalene. So I kind of sat here for a moment having this conversation. The part of me that was aware of what I was saying was, really? Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene? Mary Magdalene? No, Mother Mary. And it's like, oh, okay.
They were pretty close. There's a channeler by the name of Crow Fisher, and she channels a being, Council of Elders, and he goes by the name of Red, and he's done a CD on the life of Jesus and the life of Mary Magdalene, his wife, and talks about how he survived the cross and how they kind of quietly left the country and ended up in France. Lots of kids, and so I guess Mary the mother and Mary the wife were close. Apparently they were healers, and they contributed greatly to Jesus surviving the cross, just by their healing abilities, along with some other women.
I haven't heard that version. I mean, I've heard other things, but not that version. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe we've got some more things to look forward to, Susan.
That's fun.
Well, listen, how do you feel after all that? Are you drained, or are you pumped, or?
A little bit of both. I'm not actually, I thought I'd be tired, but I'm not tired, but my face feels kind of odd. Let's have some water, just give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just sort of adjusting.
Yeah. No, it's a big vibrational shift, and it sometimes takes a little kind of getting back. If you want to get in touch with you, you do a lot of personal counseling and coaching, and you put on events. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, if they want, they can reach me via email, let's say susanswanjames@outlook.com. But you know what? I'd like to offer people that are watching this or watching the replay, I'd like to offer 3 channeling sessions, for 3 different people, right? It'll be fun. Okay, so if I offer to people that contacted me, I have a link for booking, and they could just book with me, and I'll take the first 3 for 3 20-minute sessions. And let's see, my booking link is Calendly, CALENDLY.com/talk with Susan. Yeah.
Now, if people go to my website, they will see, I think there is one video there and a podcast perhaps that also has your contact information.
Okay,
so they can check it out there.
That would be fine too.
Interesting, if you have 3 different clients, you've got 3 different individuals you've channeled, or groups, the Council of Light, Mother Mary, and the Soldier. This is going to be interesting, Susan.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Do you have any events coming up? Anything on the horizon?
Not yet. I guess I should talk some.
Yeah. I know we did a little one a while ago, and that was fun. We had a number of people show up, and people got to ask their own questions, and that's always fun.
That's right.
Things like this, people could, and also with the personal counseling, they can ask anything they want, I guess, from space travel to their inflamed kidney or whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Well, Susan, this has been great. Really pleased to have you here, and really fabulous group that you brought in, or individuals and groups.
Yeah. I'll have to watch the replay because I don't remember really all the details, but
I guess when you're in that state, channelers seem to sometimes tune out entirely, and who
Yeah,
knows
I
where they
think
go, and others are right on top of every word, but you're probably somewhere in between.
yeah, I mean, as I'm saying it, I know what I'm saying, um, but I don't, as soon as I've stopped, then it kind of goes off into a fog. If someone mentions to me, remember when you said this, then I'll pause and I'll think about it and then I'll remember most of it. But really, I need to go back to the replay to see all the details.
Well, me too. I guess, yeah, I'm thinking of the next question or whatever and trying to listen to what's
Right.
being
Yeah.
said. And so, and I imagine the audience as well, they hear something that resonates with them, but maybe miss quite a bit when they go back. And it's interesting, a lot of people report that months after, when they listen to these recordings, they find things that just blew by them initially. And,
Right.
it all begins to make sense.
They're drawn to go back to the recording and they don't, they just think, oh, let's listen. They might think, let's go back and listen to that. And they're actually, their subconscious, their inner self their higher self is directing them to listen to something, to pay attention to a different detail. That makes sense at that time. Maybe events needed to happen for that extra piece of information to be pertinent now.
Yeah. Well, Susan, I see the big hand is actually past the top of the clock. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to you and thank
All
you
right.
very much for doing this. This was
You're
fun.
so welcome.
And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you, and tell your friends. This will be replayed on Facebook in a matter of minutes, I think. And I've got the recording as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'll send you a copy, Susan, but we'll get it around. So good night, everyone. And again, thanks very much, Susan.
Good night.